Hello everyone, good evening, welcome back. Can you all hear me? Am I audible? Just let me share my screen. One second, I'm just sharing my screen. All right. So, previously we have started with the introduction to cyber and what is cybersecurity. Then we saw installation of Kali Linux and how to use it and a little bit of basic Linux, right? So I'll just give you a recap of all those things. So first thing is we need to open the VirtualBox. We will now start dealing with Kali as our operating system. So just opening this VirtualBox. Okay, please wait. Okay, so I've just opened my VirtualBox, and now what I will do is I will just turn on this thing. This was the one which I had installed, correct? So let me just turn on this thing, like power it on. Before that, I'll just select the settings. Wants to just give you a recap that in system, after you install this, you have to just increase this to the green range maximum. It's better. You can just increase the processors to 2. In the display, anything is fine. Storage also not a problem. Network, please make sure that it is at bridge adapter, and then you have selected the first option. For you, some of you, it might be different. It's not gonna be the same for all of you, right? So whichever is the option other than this family controller, you have to try out that one. Select that option. Right, so don't select the Realtek gigabit family controller, GBE family controller. Select the other option, which is that. Now, I had told you about one error also, which you might get, something related to virtualization. I hope that you all sorted out that thing, because I told you what to do if you get such an error as well. Right, you need to go to your boot menu, and then there you need to enable the virtualization technology. Only then you will be able to run this. Right, and then USB, probably you just select this, it's enough. Right, so these are the general settings which you need to do. Just click on start once you finish all of these things. Now, what we will do is we will just start off with a few of the topics. Like first thing is we will deal with the type of hacking. We had seen, right, that there is something called as social engineering. Right, so let me just go here. Okay, please wait. We'll just wait for this thing to load. Right, in this you have seen what is the type of hacking. Right, and then we had seen all of these things. What is have we seen this? What is internet? And then I think we had stopped in this place. Right, so there are a few things which we had not done here. I think I told you that we will continue with this later on. Other than that, a few basics about IP and everything, we had learned about all of these things. Right, so there was one slide which I had given you for the installation steps. I told you I'll give you this reference. I think you have got this reference already. One second. Even after enabling our virtualization, what if a Kali Linux is unable to extract? If you just tell me what is the error exactly, because if you do this, there will be no problem if you followed these steps. And you need to enable virtualization. That is one extra step. You can just put in the error, what is there, then maybe I can just help you out with it. If not, generally, nothing of that sort happens. It's still, let us just see. So, okay, those who have raised hands, right? So please do one thing. If you've got any queries, please put them in the chat. Okay, because the notification just pops up and then it goes off. So it's better if you just put whatever things you want to ask in the chat. That would be better. So the shell commands which we use, right? So we'll just see all of these things initially. What are the shell commands? Right, so it's like there is something called as ls. So I've got this login screen on Kali. Okay, we're not gone after this. I've got this login screen, right? So first I will just log in, then I will cover the things which was pending in this slide. Right? I think in this slide few things were pending. I will just show you this. Then we will go to the shell commands. So to log in into this, just give Kali as well as Kali so that we give it some time to boot and load up. Okay, MAC address policy, you can include all the network adapters, Arvind. You can include all of the network adapters. Okay, so just going back to this IP addresses and VPN, we have seen already what is a VPN, how it works and everything. We will just go to this website, how secure is my password? Right, so I will just type how secure is my password.net. Right, and then the website which it takes me to is security.org. Okay, just going to this security.org, and then here if I just enter the password, if I just give PASSWORD, it's going to tell me instantly this password will be hacked. Can be found by the computer, okay, not someone else, it is from the computer. Right, and then if I just give QWERTY123 again instantly, we'll make a few changes. I'll take capital Q WERTY, right, and then it's taking 400 milliseconds at 1234. Right, so just putting QWERTY at 1234 with a few capitals in between makes your password very secure. But this is because the computer from scratch, if it is starting from basic passwords, if it is searching, it's a problem. But what if you give the computer a few password lists? Right? So it's like there'll be something called as word list or password list, which we will give. If you give the computer a few password lists, then QWERTY123, QWERTY at 1234 are very common. So that also it is going to very easily find out. Right? But then if I just give some different password, like my own password, if I try to give, right, so it's just telling me that it would take almost like 2 million years. It would take a computer about 2 million years to crack your password. Right? So here, why are they showing us this thing? Just you can check how secure your password is, right? So if I just put another of my password, right? So this simple password would take a computer about 3 weeks, right? So this would be almost like 5 years, which is by adding one extra thing. Okay. To create secure passwords, better to keep a combination of letters, numbers, and characters. 16 characters or more. Right? So it's like 45% of Americans use password of 8 characters or less, which is not as secure as longer passwords, because for longer passwords for a computer to find it, it needs to check how many totally. See, now if I wanted to find the total number of possible combinations, now there are, say, you have put a 3-digit password, right? So it's like you have put only 3-digit password, right? So in this 3 characters, it's just 111. So totally for 3 characters password, how many combinations? We just give 999 combinations, correct? Same way, if it was text, it is 999 combinations and another 26 into 3 combinations, right? So for text. So either ways, it's very simple for a computer to identify a 3-digit password or a 4-digit password. Same way, if you give 8 also, to some extent, if you just keep on running the program continuously, within some time it will surely find. If you just give a combination of numbers and text, also it is going to find eventually. That's why you add this extra special characters so that you make your passwords very secure, and then give uppercase and lowercase, keep different things, mixing it up a little. Right? So if you just give lowercase continuously and then give one number towards the end, it's still very easily findable by the computer. Just put the computer to work, it will find and give you. It will check for all of the passwords on the similar thing, and then it will eventually reach that password. Okay. So it's just suggested that you use capital, lowercase, and everything for your passwords. Okay. Now that is about how secure is my password. That was the thing. Have I been pwned? Right, so here we will just see if your email or password has been in a data breach. Okay. Right. So to check if your email or phone is there in a data breach. Okay. So I will just take a few email addresses. Right. So just take. So I'm just going to this disposable temporary email address. So it's just giving me some email address now. I will just check this. Okay. And then see if this has been found in some breach before. Okay. And it says good news, no peonage found, no breached accounts, and no paste which were found. Right. So then we just check some other thing. Right. So I'll probably put in my own right, one of the accounts which I know. Right. No peonage found. Right. So how about okay. So just put my actual one. Definitely there has to be a breach for this. Yes. So it says one data breach and found no paste. Right, so breach is an incident, right? So it is like there was one breach in September 2020 for this account. Right, so for the PDF service, right? So there was a massive data breach which exposed over 70 million unique email addresses. So there is a block like this. Nitro data breach impacts Microsoft, Google, Apple, and more. Okay. So there are over 1.8 million license users. So somewhere in October 2020, there was a huge data breach. Okay, so it put out the 70 million users credentials, the full names, addresses, emails, passwords, titles, company names, IP addresses, and every single thing was actually there in a breach. Okay, now that was one thing. So if I just change this to another, say, password, another account which I know. Okay, yeah. So this also breaches you appeared in. Big Basket suffered a data breach in October 2020. right? So the data was originally sold before being leaked publicly the following year and included email, IP address, physical addresses, names, phone numbers, date of birth, passwords, and all of these things. Right? So what all data was compromised also, it is being shown. And so peonage means if your data was there in a breach, if your account was included in a data breach. Breach is like something wherein your information is all exposed onto the internet. That is what espionage or the same breach. In Canva also, it had happened. There was a breach for this email address. May 2019, there was a data breach in Canva. It was a rather huge one, 137 million. It exposed again all of these things, right? Fine. So that was about have I been pwned? Fine. So let us just go to the next thing, which is find my IP. It will just give us the public IP address and then the location of it, of my place. This we have already seen. Netsh command. Okay. So I'll just give this netsh command in CMD. Right. So if I just give CMD and then let me just go to this netsh command by giving netsh wlan show profiles. Right. So what this does is netsh wlan show profile will give me the profiles of all of the things which have been connected to my laptop, all the Wi-Fi. Right. So these are all the Wi-Fi's which have been connected to my laptop. So right now I'm on I think crypto. Yeah. So anything that I've connected, everything will be updated in here. All of the details will be put in here. Okay. So it's like if I wanted to know the password of this, say vSapphire. Let's say if I wanted to know the password of this vSapphire, then what I will do is, if I wanted to know this password, I'll just give wlan show profile, enter netsh wlan show profile, and then I will just give the name, right? So it was vSapphire, right? And then give key equals to clear. So now for vSapphire, it is going to search for all of the details, right? And then as soon as I give this line, right, so it's searching for the password and then giving me the details, telling security settings. This is the security password. 1234567 was the password for this wireless LAN. Right, so this is the command which you need to give in order to find the Wi-Fi passwords of the things which you have already connected to. Okay, fine. Can you just note this down? netsh wlan show profile, whatever is your name of the Wi-Fi, just give key equals to clear. Say now if I wanted, I'll just use the arrows to see the other profiles. Let's say now I wanted to know what is the thing for um, this linksys. Right, so let me just take it for linksys. Right, so instead of this, let me just give linksys. Right, so it's giving me the password as this thing 97433339344 as the password for this linksys Wi-Fi. Okay. Right, what is the command? netsh wlan show profile, give the Wi-Fi name, give key equals to clear. Right, so that is about the netsh command. And then for free bulk SMS online, we'll see this when we are dealing with bombing, email bombing, and other things. Okay, that time we'll just see this. So this is about the thing which we had missed out yesterday. and then going ahead with a little bit of shell commands for Kali Linux. So username and password is Kali. So I think the first times you have to just go to this option and then search for display, right? And then just change this resolution to 1440 into 900, right? So this one fits. It should fit. Let us just see. Keep this configuration. I think, yeah, at least for my laptop, it definitely fits this configuration. You please try out this 1440 into 900, or let me just try this one as well. No, this one doesn't. How about this thing? Yeah, you can try out 1280 into 720 as well, but I feel that this is a lot more comfortable for this fit. Yeah. Okay. Just 1 minute. Last thing I'm just gonna try. Right, so whichever is in the 16 is to 9 or 16 is to 10, you can definitely try that out. If you've got a fairly new one, I think your 1920 should be working fine. For my laptop, 1440 into 900 is like the perfect thing, which gives me this. Okay, so this is our Kali desktop. This is what we get. And now what we will do is, first thing is, you see this thing, black color thing here, it is called as terminal emulator. So we'll just go in there and then learn a little bit of Linux basics commands. Right? So if you already know, just gonna revise it. This is our Kali terminal. You can use a control and uh, go to preferences. You can change the font size. Right, so I'll just be increasing this to 16 or something. Apply. Okay. Right, so here in Kali, by default, even though you are on Wi-Fi, here it is going to change it into a wired Ethernet network itself. Fine. So if I just give the first command, which is that here, ls is for list directories, first thing. Right, so ls means it gives me a list of all the folders which is there inside this. Kali at Kali will give me all of these folders. So we are like one folder before the desktop folder. So we are in Kali. Now if I wanted to go to desktop folder, what should I do? I give this change directory option. CD means current directory. CD space whatever is the directory name like desktop or downloads. It means change current directory to that thing. So let me just give CD DES and then I will press tab. So what happens if I press tab after giving D? It will give me all the suggestions to complete so that I need not type again and again. So if I just give CD space capital D and then press tab, I will get these three options. Whichever I want to go, I can go. DE and then tab, whichever is the thing pending, it will show me that file. So now I am inside the desktop folder. So just giving ls again, there is no file on the desktop, so it's not giving me any other thing. So I'll just type pwd, which means this is the present working directory. So I am inside home/kali/desktop, present working directory. And then if I give something like who am I, it will tell me that my username is Kali. Okay. Who am I? The username is Kali. Okay. PWD is present working directory. So now if I just give the thing about mkdir, right? So what is this mkdir? Right? Mkdir means make directory or create a file or a folder. Okay. So just giving mkdir will now create a folder. I will just go there and then create a folder. Mkdir. I will call this as Linux basic, the folder name. Now if I give ls, it will have one folder called as Linux basic. Okay. So now what I do is If I wanted to go inside this, I will give cd linux basic and then give ls. So there is this file inside it, which I am giving. Okay. So now that I have got nothing inside this folder, Linux basic, what should I do next? Say I wanted to come back to the desktop folder. So I just give cd space dot dot. And then now if I give ls, I'm back to the desktop folder. Okay. Right. So after that, if I wanted to delete this, I just give rmdir, give the file folder's name, and then give rmdir. ls now does not have that folder as well. Right, same way for copying the file elements, right? So first we will create a file. How to create a file? There is one editor called as nano. So just giving nano, I can create a file called as xyz.txt. Nano is the editor which we use here. Generally, this is the editor. Nano xyz.txt allows us to write some code inside this editor. So let me just write some code. Right, so I will just write here ethical hacking and cybersecurity. Now to come back, save and then come back, I have to give control X. Right, so what happens in control X? It is for exit. You can see here bottom left corner. Control X is for exit. It will ask me to save. I will give Y. It will ask me the file name to write. Let it be the same, so just press enter. So how to go back? Use the arrow keys, up and down arrow. It will give you the list of all the commands. So just give nano xyz.txt, and now if I make some change and give control X for saving, give Y, and then press enter for saving with that same file name. Now if I give ls, there is one file called as xyz.txt. Okay. So what I do is I'm just going to take this and then use the command for copy. So I will use cp, which is for copy, and then give xyz.txt, and then I'm just mentioning abc.txt or xyz new.txt. So we'll see what happens here. So whatever files was there in xyz have now been saved or created in a new file called as xyz underscore new as well. Right, so it's now creating multiple files. Okay, so it is just like we are going to copy. So initially this was empty. Now that we have used this, we are going to create it. Okay, so this is how you copy your files. Fine. So other than that, let me just go back. Okay, questions. Just a second. Other than that, there is rm to delete the file. Try 1360. Okay, Siddhant, where did you mention this? Don't think it was here. What is the password and username we have to fill? Rishabh, it is Kali as well as Kali. Okay. Rishabh, it is Kali, Kali. Now if I wanted to remove this, let me just give ls and then give rmy xyz.txt. Right, the file is now deleted. Okay. So this is how you remove this element or this file. How to change the username and password? Okay, for changing the username and password, first you need to know the initial thing. You have to go to something called as a user mod and then change the user ID right? So sudo, right? So first you need to give sudo and then give sudo su, right? So just give sudo means it is trying to give you administrative privileges. So just giving sudo su means your Kali at Kali will get changed to root at Kali. So it will ask me the password. So I will just type KALI. It will not be visible. Just press enter. That's now going to change to root at Kali from Kali at Kali. So you see this thing, which means you have now logged in as the administrator. Whatever change you make here is going to be in the admin, right? So first to change the username, right? So what we will do is we will use something called as the user mod command, okay? And then -l. Say if I wanted to change it from Kali to Kali 1, right? I have to give the new username and then give the old username, okay? So now user current Kali is currently used by process, right? So we have just got this thing, right? So after this, what you do is I've replaced the old username with the thing which I wanted. New username is this thing. Now to change the user ID, right? So there is something called as user ID. So I just give user mod -u parameter, right? So I'll just change the user ID. Right? So if I wanted to assign some user ID, we can just give this 1234 and then give Kali 1. Okay, actually, we will just see it's I don't think changing the user ID makes sense. So we will just clear this. We will see how to change the password. Okay. Just give sudo pass wd and then give root. Right. So it will ask you to change the password. Right. So what is the password? New password you wanted to give. So it was Kali and Kali. Right. Now the password I will change it to Linux. Retype Linux. Enter. That's a password updated successfully. So now if I just give exit and then give logout, sorry, exit here and then give, so this option for logout, right? So this is Kali. Kali, if I give, okay. I think we made the change in the root. That is why it was a problem. The root password got changed. Right. We'll just do one thing. Right. So instead of this root for Kali, we will change the password. Right. So Kali, sorry, it's sudo password root. New password is Linux. Linux. Okay. Now it will allow us to log in with this password, Linux and Linux. Okay. So just giving sudo su, or if I just exit this once and then go back again, right? So if I just give sudo su, it means super user. So now I'll just give this password so that it is able to log in, right? You see it's giving me an error for the other one. So I'll just use the new password. Now it's allowing me to log in. Okay. So this is how we have changed the password. Okay, process 699. I think it is just some sort of error in Linux for changing the username actually. Yeah, it's some sort of an error, that's all. So let me just give this clear and then give exit. I don't want it to be in root. right? In fact, okay, why is this happening? The display, apply, keep, and then close, right? So now what we will do is we will just see what is the thing that we will be discussing. It is social engineering, right? So we will discuss a little bit about what is social engineering and what happens, right? So social engineering generally is the thing where you get sent links, and then if you open some spam links, right? So there may be some malicious activity which can happen with you. For example, I think you've heard about this Amazon spin wheel, spin the wheel and then get the prize, that offer kind of a thing. So there is this thing which is like a fake issue of that is circulated on WhatsApp, right? So you might just find telling that spin this wheel and then after that you share it with 5 friends, you are eligible to get some prize, correct? So you know that this never happens, you never get any prizes, but then we still click on it every single time. Why do we do this? Because we're like, okay, there's nothing wrong in doing it. We'll be like, okay, we get, it's lucky. If not, no problem. But the thing is, we're actually compromising with our data, right? So it's like as soon as you open those links on your phone, right? So immediately it is going to capture some data from yours, right? So depending on what malware is being put up in there, right? So it can take your credentials, it can take your usernames, it can take your mobile numbers, it can take your photos or your contacts, right? So whatever is there, it can actually take, right? Hackers will have access to all of these things. So it's like one person just sharing it with so many people, and someone else, if they open that link, again, his or her data is also going to be lost. Again, data under risk. Okay. So it's going to happen repeatedly. That's why you should not do it. That is one example of social engineering. And then one more example is on your spam messages, right? So I'll just show you that if you take your phone actually right now, there is one folder in your messages, right? So there is this messages wherein you will for sure have a lot of spam messages coming, right? So it's like, okay, I think I've got this one message. Dear customer, rupees 500 for 10 lucky winners and rupees 50 to 1000 for early birds as some points to click or to claim, click on this link, right? So this is one example. Or it'll be like your mobile number has won almost like 10 crores or 25 crores, right? And then it will be like to claim this, click on this number, right? Or contact this number. So if you click on that thing, whatever the number or the link, if you click on those links, right? So what happens is that your data will actually go to the hacker, whoever has created that thing, right? So there's actually nothing behind it. It's all just fake web pages. Right? We'll actually see how to create those kind of fake pages as well. Right? So we will see how they are able to do all of these things, right? So this is called as social engineering, wherein the story or whatever thing is being done, right? So it's like too good to be true, right? Things of that matter are going to be there in those links, right? So in those offers. It's like how can someone just earn 25 crores, right? So it's not really true, right? So it's like things which are too good to be true, right? So those kind of things will be there. And then if you just open up some link, like if there is this Amazon's thing, if you just open up that link, it will not give you amazon.com or amazon.in, right? It will give you amzn.in or .co, amzn, not amazon, right? So it's going to be something like this. So that is when you should understand that, okay, this is a spam message, and then even in email you get a lot of spam emails, correct? So all of these things you should just remember that never click on those links, right? So most of them will be out of these parts like social engineering, wherein unless you click nothing is going to happen, but the moment you click, anything can happen with your phone, right? So you will not see any file downloaded or anything. Virus can be there can be Trojan horses, there can be any other type of malware, and then ultimately your data is at risk, your phone is at risk, right? So that is the thing in social engineering, a little bit of introduction. Other than this, you can just read it out here. There is a social engineering life cycle. You just do the investigation first, then you deceive the victim to gain a foothold by engaging the target, spinning some stories, taking control of the interaction, right? And then obtaining the information over a period of time, finally closing the interaction by doing whatever attack you want to do, and after that removing all the traces of that malware, right? So this is what is the social engineering life cycle, right? So attacker performs a reconnaissance attacks, right? So it's like reconnaissance here means getting the information, right? So you're getting all the details about the person, right? So it's like observation, and then getting all the details like the username, the password, all the other information from the victim. The attacker actually does this by using a reconnaissance attack. Then the user receives an email with, say, for example, a PDF file attached, supposedly from a hospital supplier. I think even you will be getting, like in my emails, there used to be a lot of these things like someone from England, some loan has been approved and something, and you are required to pay back in the installments or something, right? So I used to keep getting these kind of things, and then there used to be links that to repay or to get clarification, just click on this link. And so that is the email. There was one PDF which used to have, not a PDF, it used to be a Word document which used to have all the details regarding this, telling that this was the letter and then this was the time when you had taken the loan, all the details it used to be there, and there used to be some weird names which used to come up, telling that my name is some weird thing, whichever was their English names, it used to be that. Right. So once the user opens the attached file which executes the malware steals user's credentials and sensitive data and sends the stolen data to some other remote user. Right. So this is the attack scenario. Now, social engineering tactics, knowing the red flags that can help you avoid becoming a victim of such attacks is if your so-called friend sends you a strange message, right? So it's not your actual friend, it's a sarcastic remark there. Your friend sends you a strange message, right? Or your emotions are heightened as a result of those, and then the request is urgent, right? Telling that, okay, please do this immediately. That's if someone is urging you, and if you are speaking to that person for the first time, probably. Right? So something like this. These are the scenarios which you can encounter. And the offer feels too good to be true. Even that is one tactic. You are receiving help you didn't ask for. This is going to happen a lot of times. Right? And then the sender can't prove their identity, right? Just by some smartness, if you just ask them to prove their identity, if they're not able to do so, then you just have to know that, yes, this is a social engineering attack. I have to be aware about my details about what links I click on, right? So you need to be aware of all of those things. Okay. Yeah. So in this, we have got something specific called as phishing in the social engineering itself. Right, so we will be dealing with phishing, and I will show you practically like how people do these things. I'll be showing it on Kali Linux. There are a few tools which are already available for phishing. There are a lot of servers which people use for this phishing links. Right, so it's like here we will be sending links, and most of the things here, phishing is going to be used. Like social engineering is the best way to uh, hack and try to get the details from the victims, not in simple formats, but then there can be various different things which you can do for social engineering. So first to start off with, right, so we will just be using a code from one of the GitHub repositories. So I will just open up the browser, and I'm just opening this browser here. Okay, here let me just search for one phishing tool called as social fish. Please check the special spelling in here. It is PHISH. Okay, something wrong with this connection. I'll just restart this once, or probably take another thing. Yes, you can use Chrome, not a problem. Okay, when the recording will be available to you? Good question. Pranav, I'm not really aware. It will be processed, say, after the session. It will be done immediately, I guess. Root means super user or administrator. And in Linux, we call it as administrator. Okay. Yeah, so I will just open up the browser here. Okay. So I'm just going to search for social fish. So it's like by default, you will not have the Chrome browser. It will be only my Firefox. And I personally prefer Firefox for some reason. There was Chrome here. That's why I'm just using it. But the Firefox is recommended to use. Everyone uses Firefox on Linux, right? So this is the site where you have to be, right? So it's like xhack 9x slash social fish is the thing which we wanted. And so this is a repository. So here it is a phishing tool. You have got lots of fake web pages on this. What happens is as soon as you send this link to a victim, then immediately if they enter the password and username, whatever they enter will be shared with you, right? So it is for attacking agents, right? It's like for attacking people or a victim. Right? So they've mentioned that don't do this without consent or prior permission because it is illegal. Okay, fine. So now we will just use this and then see how phishing works. Let me go to code and then I will copy this link. Right, so it's on Linux, so it's very easy for me to use this thing. I can just copy this link, go to the terminal, right, I'll just create a new folder and I will call this as hacking, and everything I'm gonna put inside this folder. Okay, so let me just open up a terminal here, right click, open terminal here, right, and then in this terminal what I will do is I will just give git clone control shift v. Control shift v is for pasting whatever data you have. So I'm just giving git space clone space control shift v, means it's going to clone all the files which were there in that project in GitHub, and then it's going to download them. I just press enter. So it says cloning into social fish. Once it says cloning into social fish, we'll just have to wait so that it downloads all the files. Karthik, yes, we will use ngrok, but then also there is a problem in ngrok. Very recently there was an update which has disabled all of its services for free. Right, so here we just did git clone and then we got all of this data, correct? Now I will just give ls. I've got a folder, right? So basically git clone means it will download that folder for us. I need not go separately and then download. I can just give the git clone command wherever I wanted it. So to navigate inside this, just give s, and then it is going to take me inside this folder called as social fish. Just give ls, it will show me all of these files which are available. Okay. Now there is this .sh file which I have. This is the file which we need to run, right? So this is the file socialfish.sh. How to copy a link? Now from here, sorry, from here, click on code, click on this to copy the link. And after coming here, go to the folder where you want to create this new folder for social fish. Just give git clone space control shift v. Will paste the code for you. Okay. Now this is the file. I just have to run this file. Okay. So I just have to run this file socialfish.sh. So I will be running a .sh file by using a command called as bash. Right. So it's a bash script. It's a shell script is executed using a bash command. So I will be giving bash and then give socialfish.sh. So if I give bash and socialfish.sh, it is going to run that file for me. Okay. So it has opened that file for me, socialfish.sh file. Now this is a phishing tool. So what we need to do here, we need to select a fake web page out of these 32 web pages. So we'll select a few common ones, like we will select first Instagram. For one, let us see. It is asking me to select the port forwarding option, means select this two servers which will actually generate a link for us to send to the victim. I told you, right, this is all in phishing and social engineering so that the links are sent. So here I need to select a port forwarding option. Now the very famous one here is called as ngrok. I will just select the second option, which is ngrok. So it will actually go to this website of ngrok and then download this. Then it will start all the required servers like the PHP as well as the ngrok server. Okay. So it says choose a port forwarding option. I did this. Now it will give me a link. Right. So it says send this link to the target, but then this is empty. or use tiny URL. This is not empty. So what I will do is I will just copy this link and then open it up somewhere else, like on this Windows machine, which is completely different to that virtual machine, and then paste it here. So it's now going to go to someone's user profile, right? So this is actually not correct, right? So it's not giving me the exact thing when I do this option, right? So what I do is I'm just going to discard this ngrok because they have removed access to this ngrok option for this. So we have got one alternate way, like how to use this ngrok, right? What happens in this, if I select Servio, I will select servio.net and then use ngrok from that part. So now we have already downloaded the ngrok, correct? So it has downloaded ngrok, it is already there. But now since it did not give me the correct link, I will just change to servio.net, which is one more server which just generates these links and then gives us the link, right? So I will just go and select the other option, which is servio.net. So I need to run this bash, run Instagram page, then give Servio, which is 1, and then press enter. So now it will ask me what port should I choose, right? So I will select the port for HTTP, which is port number 80. Okay. So just give 80 as the port number. It will start the PHP server and then give me a option to connect. So here it will give me an, we'll just see here, starting the server. Right, so here also it did not give me the direct link. So I've used the Servio, it didn't give me the link. ngrok gave me a wrong link. So now what I will do is for tunneling option, I will use ngrok within the Servio server. Right, so for making use of Servio, inside that I'm going to use ngrok. Right, how exactly, might sound confusing. How exactly am I going to do this? There are another 2 steps which we need to follow. Also, I will tell you an alternative, what to do if you don't want to use any of these things. There is an alternative as well. Right, so right now, Servio not giving me a link. ngrok not giving me a link. So what I do is I will just open a new terminal. Let's say here we didn't have this ngrok. Wow, now we have got this ngrok. Open a new terminal here and then open ngrok from that by giving /ngrok http 80. Okay. So once I start the server, right? So ngrok is something like, it will give you a link. Right. So these are the port forwarding links that it has generated. This as well as this. Right. So the web interface is 127.0.1 is the default home address or the web interface. Right, so here we wanted the forwarding link of this one. Okay, so I can just take this copy link and then paste it here. So it's giving me a security error, so just go to details and then continue. Right, so now it should give me a fake Instagram page. Right, so this is the fake Instagram page. Now how exactly? It looks exactly the same, correct? Right, so this looks exactly the same like a actual Instagram page. So you can see here, if it gives me a result saying 200 OK, right? So it means that the connection was successful with the server. For not found is an error. 200 is a confirmation telling that yes, this thing did detect correctly, and then that it's not giving me any error, right? So it is saying 200 OK. And yeah, here you can see as soon as I open that ngrok from that part, it says waiting victim, open the link. And then it says IP found. This is the victim IP, right? And then user user agent, you can just see here, it's going to give you all the details. Fine. So this is about the part where the IP address of the victim as soon as you open that link is found. So what I did was I took this code, correct, and then I did git clone to it. Once I did this git clone, right? So I just went into that folder and then opened that folder, right? So here you had so many files, like 4 files. Then you have to just open up the bash file, right? So it is just by giving bash socialfish.sh. Then after giving this thing, we got all of these files, correct? Or all of these options, right? So just choose an option which is one, Instagram, right? And then again, it asked me to choose an option for the server, which I gave Servio.net. And then there is one more thing called as ngrocks. So here we have given the default port forwarding option. We selected it as Servio this time. Port number is 80. That's a starting PHP server and then starting the actual server. After that, we got these lines. So what we did was we went to that same, we went here and then opened up a new terminal. And after that, we got the link, right? So what happened in that new terminal, you had to mention that it was ./http, right? And then the port number. So by default, the port number for that is 3333 is the default port number, right? So we just use that. Instead of that 3333, I assigned that it is 80, right? So from this, it selected the port and finally it gave us the link. So once we got this link, you can share this link with anyone you want. And then and after sharing this link, so this is my virtual machine, right? So I've just shared this link onto Windows, which is a completely different thing. As soon as I open this, it says 200 OK, but then here it says IP found. Let's say this is the IP, right? For the credentials, right? So I can just type here give 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So after that, it is going to redirect to Instagram's original page. But we have got the values here. So IP address was found, waiting for credentials. The credentials are also found. Okay. So this is how your simple phishing works. Okay. Repeat the code for generating the link in the new window. So it's like you open up a new terminal in that same folder and then give ./ngrok http and mention the port number. Automatically, it will generate this ./ngrok http 80. Right. So we'll just stop here and we will continue after a short break. We will take a 10-minute break and then continue. All right, welcome back. Yeah, okay. This thing is logged out. Yeah, now am I audible? Mhm. Okay. Now, this was like in phishing, we dealt with a little bit about social engineering. So this is also called as social media profiling. You create fake social media web pages. And so the thing which was there before, it was a fake web page, correct? This was a fake login page. Now you see the URL. And so this is actually a fake login page. But then it did the work of which thing which looks like a proper. It's giving me a proper Instagram page. Do I need to have an NGRock account? I'm getting a welcome to NGRock page instead. Okay, 1 second. Anyone else getting this? Anyone else? I think you're getting this error, Anita. Just a minute. Was it this one? Or okay. I got your question. Okay. So it is probably like you need to put in your authentication error or something, correct? Yeah, got it. I will tell you what to do in that case. Yeah. So it is like very recently NGRock made this error. Right. So it's actually a cloud platform, which is a paid service. So very recently NGRock made this change wherein they have mentioned that you need to have an account for sure to use this because there were too many people accessing it for free, like us. Like right now, we were trying to use the free part of this NGRock, right? So it was like it has become a huge problem for them. And then they very recently, until I think last 1 or 2 weeks, it was working fine. That time they just changed this thing wherein NGRock completely abandoned all of its free services. And if you wanted this, you were supposed to have a authentication token. Okay, maybe because I already have that authentication token, it's not giving me this error. But I'll tell you what you should do. So you will have this error for this authentication token. So you just have to log into NGRock. Right, so just go to NGRock, right, and then here you will have an option to sign up. Right, so you actually need to sign up here. Okay, I think it's already giving me one of my logins account, delete account. So just start from fresh. QW account was banned. Okay, not a problem. Right, so I just want to figure out a way to log out this thing because anyways, I will tell you what you have to do. Right, so you need not create your email. First of all, you need not sign up with your own email. We will use something called as temporary emails, which you can just use and then discard later on. So what happens here is, I think now that I've just signed out, let me just retry this thing. Let us see if it is actually giving me this /ngrock http 80. Is it actually giving me this link to open? 1 second. Okay, this is a different issue. Fine. So to sign up, what you do is take a temporary email, right? So there is temp-mail.org or emailondeck.com, right? So you get this temporary email which you can use. It's a disposable temporary email, right? It's a free email services wherein you can receive email at a temporary address. Okay. So here I've got this temporary email address. So I will just go here and then go up to ngrok and just give a name, right? So let me just give ASD email. I'm just gonna put this thing, and password I will use QWERTYUIOP, and then sample some other things. Okay, so I'm just giving some password using a temporary email, and then I will just sign up, right? So you can just do that, and then there will be one authentication token which you require from this. Right, so this is not actually the original way to do it. I don't think this is the way you have to do it because we are using a temporary email. Right, so it should not happen. To connect to your account, right? So it will add your authentication to the YML file. It will grant you access to more features and longer session times. Correct. So you just have to run this in your shell. So go here, right? And then any of the shell, you can just run this command. Authentication token saved to configuration file home/kali/data ngrok.yml. So I think there is already one previous one which was existing. So just go to home kali and then .ngrok. Okay, that is where I'll just go see here home and then kali, and then there is one folder called as .ngrok2. Right, so inside this file is saved wherein it has set the configuration with this authentication token telling that yes, this is the authentication token, accept this whatever you get from this. Now can you just try, right? So can you just put in that authentication token and then try this? You should get it. You should get the link for access. Okay, so this is how you create a fake web server. Now a fake web page is created. We will just try it for another of a example, right? So I will just take another example. Say, let me just come down here. CLEAR, clear screen. Now in this itself, I will just use bash socialfish.sh, and then I will take, say, Netflix, which is 08, and then use Servio. Now I will change the port to 3333, which was the thing by default, or else I need not give this also. Just press enter, the default port, so that the next time I open the new terminal for ngrok, right? So what am I gonna do here? I will just minimize so that it starts its server. In the meantime, okay, now it is giving me this error. I know that this will not work. So I'm just going to go to that same folder for social fish, and inside this I've already got this file. This file is important, this ngrok file. How do you get this ngrok file? You just go to this, and then here you have got this option to download for Windows or Linux. So we will want it for Linux 32-bit. We will just download this ngrok file there. Okay, so you just downloaded it there, or directly first time if you run this server, ngrok server, it will download it for us. That's why I checked with this ngrok server first, so that it downloaded the file automatically, and then I selected this server so that it gives us this. Then using one alternative, we are opening one more terminal, and in this terminal ls there is this ngrok file. So I give /ngrok http, but this time it is 3333 because it was by default. So now if I put http 80, it will give me an error. It will not give me the correct URL. Here it will give, but it will not open. So let me just copy this link address, go in here and then enter. Right, so okay, is it right? So it's just giving me this Netflix sign in page. correct? Just a minute. Okay, so I'm just giving some email. Okay, and then I'm just giving some password. Just giving sign in. The page is ngrok, but then very soon it is going to go to netflix.com. And here, if I just go to the original terminal, which was having all of this, it will say IP found. This is the victim IP. Credentials found. These are the credentials. It is saved into a usernames.list.txt file. Okay, fine. So this is the thing. It is telling that I've used a Chrome, Windows 10. I've been using that thing. Okay, so this is my victim page right now. So this is how you do phishing. This is how you go about with phishing. Now there is one more example which I can give you, right? In fact, actually, I want you all to do this. And so there is something called as Z Fisher, which I want you to explore. Z Fisher. Okay. So this is also an automated phishing tool. Right, I'll give you the link. Very similar things, but then instead of ngrok, there is one more server called as a Cloudflare DNS server. Let's just use the Cloudflare server. Right, so you just need to clone this. There is a .sh file. You need to do that. You need to run that .sh file. And then here also there are a few options like all of these fake websites. You need to initialize the server. You can use say either ngrok or you can use the Cloudflare option, and then you will get the details. Okay. So how do I share this now? Okay, I've shared it. Have you all received? I've put one thing in the questions tab, I guess. Or I think I should put it in the chat. Okay, now did you receive something which I sent you? This link? Okay. Yeah, so there is actually one more option from the chat. I'm not sure what this is. Okay. Yeah. So I want you to explore this. Very similar to what we have done. I'm just giving you like a task that you explore this thing and then check. Use the other two servers, see which one is working. Cloudflare is that definitely works. It is much better than this ngrok. In ngrok, we had got so many things to do, right? Like we had to download the authentication token and other things. Here there is one thing for Cloudflare. Explore and then check. See how phishing works in that. Right? It's almost gonna be similar. Okay. So let me just come out of this thing, give clear, then exit this terminal. There is one more terminal, clear ls. Okay, so you've seen one or two examples for this fake social media phishing or fake phishing page, correct? So now we will just see the next thing. Say, okay, what shall we see? I think, yeah, we will see what is email hacking or email bombing. Okay, there is something called as email bombing attack which we can do. Right, so there are one or two things. Right, so first I will search for something called as EMBOMBER. Right, actually there is a patch which has come up for this tool. So not 100% sure that this will work, but then there is one more tool as well. Right, so there is something called as EMBOMBER, mbomber. Okay. Right, so it's a Python script for email bombing. Right, so here this is a Python script for email bombing, which helps supports Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, and Outlook. There is a file called as mbomber.py, which we have to run. Right, so we will just git clone this thing. This is the code. Copy. Right, so I will just come out of this social fish folder and then give ls, right? So just give git clone embomber.git, right? And then it will just clone into this embomber, which is email bomber, right? So first we will see what is this email bombing. Right, so it's very similar to spam messages, but then here it is something like large number of emails being sent to one particular mailbox. Right, so it's a form of internet abuse wherein you send massive volumes of email to a specific email address. Right, so there is something called as email flooding. Right, so email flooding is also something which is very similar. Right, so we will just see if this is possible to do by giving cd bomber, okay, sorry, cd embomber ls. There is a file embomber.py, so the extension is a .py, which means it is a Python file. So it means that I need to run a Python script for this. So by giving Python, I can run this. Python, let me just give mbomber.py and then press enter. It's asking me to choose a email service. So I will choose Gmail as the service. Then it is asking me what is your email. And so just put in my email, probably like I've got one of this email like this. Okay, it will ask me for the password as well. It's asking me to whom you want to send this email, right? So I will just give to and then give this thing, decano, and then I'll give this. Right, so to this subject, I will just call it as hello. Message, hi there, how are you doing? Number of emails, I will just give 100. Right, so now let us see. Okay, it says your username or password is incorrect. Please try using the correct credentials, or you need to enable the less secure apps. Right, so on Gmail, you need to enable the less secure apps. So let me just go in here. Okay, so just search for less secure apps Gmail. Right, so how to turn on this less secure apps? I will just go to this portal for less secure apps. Okay, right now the setting is not available for accounts with two-step verifications enabled. Right, so we need to disable this two-step verification. Right, so first I need to turn off the two-step verification. Turn off two-step verification Gmail. Okay, so for sending this, we actually need to do this. Now I will just go to manage Google account, like just a minute. I will give you all the links as to how to do all these things. Right, account. Right, in this is going to manage your data and privacy. Just scroll down. Okay, not the location history. Security. That's a two-step verification is turned on. Just click on this. It will ask me to log in. Right, so just turn this thing off. Right, so we need to first disable this two-step verification. Right, so now two-step verification is turned off. Okay, so now I can just go back here and then run the same file. Select the mail server as one, select the same ID, and then put in the password. to this thing. Hi, hello, 100 emails. Let us just see. I think the password is an issue. Just a minute. I will just check the password again. Yeah, I have just stopped my screen share. Just give me 1 minute. Password. Okay. Now let me just try. 1. Okay. That's weird. Yeah, I just have to give this. Yes, it was me. Now it should hopefully run. Right. So it's like there is some enhanced level of security. Very recently it has been patched and updated. So dasonic@gmail.com, password to some subject, some message, number of emails 30. So let me just see here. Okay, this doesn't work, so we'll just go and use the other tool which I was speaking about, because it is actually detecting this and then telling that okay, there is this suspicious activity for the recent security. Okay, so what I will do is I will just use another tool called as T-bomb. Right, so I'll give you this link actually. Let's just going here. No, Navneet, it's not a fake account, because you saw me going into the security and everything. So that's not a fake account. Okay. I think I'll do that later. So here's what we will do. Let us just go to this T-bomb thing. And then I will just send this to you all. This one you can use. Okay. Just go to code and then do this git clone thing. Let's say here open a terminal and then give git clone this thing, git clone tbomb.git. cd tbomb, right? And then there are so many files here, like one is a .py file, one is a tbomb.sh file. So we will just run the .sh file first, tbomb.sh file. We will just run this. Kindly move to the pip version of tbomb for more stability, which is the .py file. So first we will see here, installing the requirements, give it access to install all the requirements. Okay. Okay. Right. So here it says press 1 to start the SMS bomber, 2 to start the call bomber, 3 for the email bomber, 4 to update. Like so, first we will press 1. Okay. It's giving 1. And then we'll just wait for a little time. It's asking to enter your country code. Just give a 91. Target number. Right. So I can just give some target number. I'll give some number of SMS to send. I can give say about a 20 SMS. Delay time, wait for 5 seconds. Number of thread, let it be by default. We're not bothered about the threads and how many values it is going to send. Right. So I'll just give enter. So now it will connect and then it will send 20 messages. Right. So it sent 2 SMS, right? So you can actually give up to 500 also. And this actually does work. So it's like if you want to spam someone with some SMS, then you can definitely use this. So if you give 500 SMS, then it will do send all the 500 SMS, probably 400 at least will go. But then don't do it, probably cost your victim's phone or something to crash because of the amount of SMSs that you are sending. That's again, it's up to you what you are doing. I better not use it for any bad purpose. And so just be aware that these are the things which you can do by using the SMS bomber, right? And then there are various apps also for your email bombing and SMS bombing. In fact, there is something for calls also in this, right? So that we'll just see next. So out of 11, 7 successful, 4 failed. Right? So even 7 is a decent enough amount for spam SMSs being sent. Right? So there is the next thing here. Out of 16, we have got this. Right? So that number was just a random number. It's not something which I knew. Okay. Right? So once it sends all of these things, it is going to update me with yeah. Okay. I think I gave 20 or 30 maybe, I guess. Right, so anyways, I'm just exit. Right, so I'm just quitting that thing. Right, so it is just exiting from that. exiting from that part, right? So this is your bombing. Okay. Okay. So the next thing is, after we saw this for SMS, yes, so we saw this for SMS, right? So there is very similar things which you can do on your phones also. Like if I wanted to put some if I wanted to send some message from a phone, right? So it will actually just take the SMSs and then send. There is one mobile application which you can use, right? So which actually does this SMS bombing, right? So what it does is it is going to send you messages from one app, right? So there is this app called as SMS Blast, right? So I'm gonna show you this thing, SMS Blast app. Right, so this is from bombitup.net, right? So this is the thing, right? So this actually sends your SMSs, right? So if you give some 20 SMS, it is going to be 20 SMSs, right? Unlimited SMS you can give. I think there is a limit like around 500 SMS or something you can send. And again, but it helps you in doing those spam SMSs, right? And bulk. It's a bulk email bombing kind of the same thing for SMS bombing. You can actually do this. Okay. So it just requires the phone number of the victim. It is not going to give you any details from your end. It is not going to take that. Okay. Right. So I'll give you the link for this as well. What? One second. Okay. Basically use a T-bomber to mess with people. Yeah, kinda. That's how it is. Can we send 100 targets? Navratna, it's like you can send 100 SMS to one target. One person, you can send 100 SMS. That is possible. It allows you to do that. In fact, even the thing which we just saw in the T-bomb, it's even this thing allows you. I just given around 20 or 22 or something, I guess. So it did send 15, and I'm not sure about this number, but yeah, it has reached that person. You can try it on your own phone, so you can see that if you just give your own number here, it is going to send messages to your own things. Okay, you all have a WhatsApp group, is it? And the last PPT which was shared, you got it there. Yes, so the same will be updated there for the recorded sessions also. Have you got the first recorded sessions video? The first recorded sessions video, is it there, first and second? Yes. So I think Navneet, your answer is right there. You will get it in the same time, like how much time it was taken initially, because as soon as this is done, the technical team will handle the processing of the video, and then it will be uploaded onto the group, or it will be updated to you either by email, or it will be shown in the group. Okay. Right, so this is about your T-bomb. Aryan, in this, it goes directly to the primary section. Right, so what we will do is, let me just give ls, and then we will use the other part. There is Python bomber.py. We will use the Python thing. I think it is Python 3 bomber.py. Yes. So here you can actually check the mail bomber. So let us just see if this works. Definitely the SMS and call works here. You can try out the calling part. Don't give more than 5 calls, because continuously you will get irritated, right? So you can just do that. Got it, Aryan? Got it. You were speaking about the social engineering toolkit. Didn't get added to the group, please respond back to the email from which you're getting the login details for the sessions. They will help you out. After providing Kali password, it is not moving forward. Probably you have changed the Kali password. Okay, here let me just go to Gmail. And actually, in this cases, when you want to bomb up your emails, there'll be a lot of failed emails as well. Right, so you can see here, I've already got this. Right, so this is the spam email which I received. Please confirm subscription. Right, so you receive emails somewhat like this. And these are not going to go to your spam folder. It will come here directly. Please confirm subscription. Whatever is there inside this is immaterial, but then yes, you will definitely get emails like this. Let's say just wait. How much of a number was successful here, like 7 or 8, after some time, it is definitely going to come here. Right, so right now there is one email which you can see. Right, so this was from whatever I did here. This email bombing, right? So you're not going to get something like this was a spam email or something. It's going to be like a genuine thing. Themes, newsletter, subscription, somewhat like this. It's going to be confirm your subscription, right? So this is what happens in your email bombing. And maybe if you just wait for another 5 minutes or so, we'll just get the other emails. So here I think I mentioned hardly 20 or something. So mention 100, you will at least receive 50 emails. Correct? Right, so this was about your email bombing. Okay. Rohan, not specific like this. In general, you will have phishing, and in general, you will have about bombing up of emails. Okay, Navneet, can you just put in your complete name? Okay, Navneet CS Kakade. Fine, I'll just update them regarding this, and then hopefully I'll get back to you. 1 second. Let me just take a copy this, copy your name. Okay. Yeah, so I think we'll just stop here. Yeah, I hope you have understood about this phishing tools and a little bit about this email bombing. You can try out the part of calls, right? But then please make sure that you don't put more calls. Try it from your own phone to your own phone. Just give 5 calls maximum for the call bombing, because at one point I was receiving calls after a lot of time, but still it was coming continuously. So it might just end up irritating yourself. So don't do that. Just give, say, 4 or 5 calls and then try it from your own phone. It'll be like after a gap of a little time, you will get some calls. Fine. Yeah, Pranav will make sure that this happens quickly. I will update them immediately to upload it there. And I think you all have a lecture tomorrow at the same time. The session is there at the same time tomorrow. Yes. Please confirm. Have you all got that update? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So we've done with this email bombing. Actually, I was thinking tomorrow, how about we directly start with the uh, Windows hacking part, wherein I just show you how to use the frameworks of Metasploit. That is what I was thinking. Right after that, we can actually do a small concept of web scraping and then web hacking. Right, so let's see. We'll just tell you. Uh, Take sessions or meet or teams. Okay, Aryan, this is not in my hands, honestly. You will have to check with the team regarding this. If they give me access to that, definitely, yeah, I have got no issues. I was told that this is the platform that we will be using, so I will have to continue with this. You can check with them, you can just request them, and then if they agree, sure, why not? Yeah, okay. Right, I'll just end the session then. See you all tomorrow. Thank you for attending.